the product and demonstrating how you install it. So I'm going to run the clip now.
YouTube video. YouTube video.
So here we have a new product called the Wave-On Switch. This is for the Pelton Crane lights. It may fit other lights. You'd have to do a site inspection to see. The way this switch works is it's a motion control switch. So it replaces the factory paddle switch. Simply wave your hand in front of it and the light turns on. Wave your hand back over it again and the light turns off. This benefits the doctor simply because cross-contamination is out of the question here because he's not touching the light. So some of the added benefits of this switch are new light functionality without the expense of buying an entire new light. It creates a favorable perception with your patients, it's a cool factor to just wave your hand in front of it. It saves time and money because the doctor no longer has to put that blue tape over everything, as a barrier control. It also improves the OSHA infection control score in the office, and they're always looking to increase that. Okay, so our first step is to disconnect the original paddle switch that comes with the light. We want to make sure that we have plugged the light so there's no power. We're going to disconnect all the wires. We have the two power wires coming up to the light, and we have the two wires coming to the bulb, going to the bulb. This is our motion control. And the back nut that keeps it in position takes the place of the original switch. Screw this right down. You want to be careful with plastic. You don't want to over tighten it.
Rudy and Mark are in the house.
Crack it. By the way, you want to try to work over something in case the light head falls. You don't want to crack the glass. So the first step, we're going to connect one power wire to the red switch, red lead. That leaves us with two more wires. The next one we're going to use, coming from the light bulb, will connect to the light. Together. And then power coming from the transformer will also connect that to the white. So you have three wires connected here. You have the white, you have power from the transformer, and you have your lead from your light bulb. Wrap these together. Tuck that in later. The next one we're going to connect is the right-hand side, the right lead from the light bulb, into the blue wire. Now we can go ahead and tuck our wires in. Now that our wires are tucked down, we can go ahead and plug the power transformer in, and we can go ahead and test it to make sure that our connections are right, and we have power. So now that you have your wires tucked in, it's time to test to make sure it works. You want to wave your hand over it, and it's going to be set very close, so you have to get your hand right up against it. You want to turn it on and turn it off a couple of times. And then once you know that the light turns on and turns off and the switch works fine, you can go ahead and put your cover back over so your light head doesn't fall off. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to set the distance of the motion. How far the doctor has to hold his hand away from the sensor to get it to turn on. the way we do that is, if you notice inside, there's a little hole on one side of the motion control. Needs a Phillips head screwdriver all the way inside, and you're going to turn it clockwise to set the distance. This would be a good time to bring the doctor into the room where he wants it, where he can turn it on and turn it off. Right now it's set pretty up a little bit. And it's further away and it's turning it on and off. And you can go up to 8 to 10 inches away. So now we bring our hand here, maybe a little bit further. There we go. That's the perfect distance right there. You don't want to set it too far, because if the patient's knee comes up and the light's down low, they can turn on and off the light. So that's about 8 inches right there. That's probably optimal position. Now your light's ready to go.
Yes.
All the attachments that we're going to go through right now, I'm going to email after the call to everybody in terms of how we're going to promote it, what the mailer looks like, what the flyer looks like, and what the pricing structure looks like. So in the introduction, through the 1st of March, we're offering this product for $69 each in packs of 3. So they come in packs of 3. They must be purchased in packs of 3. In the second paragraph, I'll read from our memo. As you may or may not know, some of the earlier Pelton & Crane touchless light switches had problems with false triggering that the Wave-On design addresses. It appears the Pelton & Crane switches don't compensate for changing ambient light conditions or RF interference. The Wave-On is designed to auto-compensate for changing light conditions and corrects the RF problem, so it works well under ambient light and electrical conditions. If any of those Pelton & Crane clients in your area will be eager to talk to you about the product.
You really hear him.
As far as the flyer goes, what you're seeing on my screen is what you should print in your market and hand out to the doctors in the offices in your territories. And this explains the product. Essentially, this is going to be your sell sheet. You're buying them again through the 1st of March for $69, and in our introductory offer, we suggest $189 each to the doctor. Now, if the doctor,
hey, Brian,
yeah.
We're getting a lot of feedback. Everybody put your phone on mute. If you're not talking, put your phone on mute.
Yeah, thank you. If everybody could
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, my sheet for breakfast.
Well, I can't do that.
There's a lot of feedback coming through.
If everybody could please mute their phones.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, that sounds very good.
Okay, can everybody hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. What we're looking at here is the flyer that's to be handed out in your markets to the doctors to explain the product and what the product features are. So everybody's going to have this. This will be something that you're going to print in your market, either in your van or at Kinko's on a nice box. Direct mailer is an option for this month. I suggest sending out to all the offices in all the territories. Of course, if you want to choose something else, you still have that option, but this is what the mailer will look like. It emphasizes stop wasting time and money on barrier film is the call to action with eliminating cross-contamination with the Wave-On touch-free replacement switch. $189 each, includes installation. Again, you're buying these in packs of 3 for $69 each. Here would be the back side of the mailer. So this will be available for this upcoming mail drive.
Brian, you hear me?
I can hear you.
You still got a lot of feedback coming through.
Okay. Everybody needs to mute their line.
I'm on the computer, so I mean, I really can't mute anything. Okay, that's better.
Even if you're on the computer, you can go into your audio settings and mute your microphone, your built-in microphone.
Let me make sure I'm muted.
All right, I want to bring in Steve Bryant and introduce him, and he's got some tactics. Obviously, he's been working with this product for quite a while. Steve, if you can talk a little bit to some of the techniques in approaching the doctor with this product and just general ideas and helpful tips in moving the product.
Excellent. I know that the strategy here with this product is to take it to market through organizations that, like yours, independent service organizations. It is not going to be, marketed through the big name guys like Shine and, Patterson or Benco. So there's a unique opportunity here. I can tell you from our experience that the docs that buy one, when they get the first one in, it's just a matter of time before they buy one for every one of their operatories that has a Pelton and Crane light in it. I think what you'll find is that there are some docs that are real infection control conscious. They like new technology. They're buying touchless things like faucets and paper towel dispensers, and this is just the natural for those folks to roll in with. You'll also find that hygienists really like this because it makes their job easier. So there's a friend there who will support you in the campaign to sell this to the doc. Also want to mention that we have an adapter for the ADEX 6300 family of lights. It'll also be available here by the time this mailing goes. So if you see the ADEX 6300s, feel free to work that market as well, guys.
Thanks, Steve. And then I'm going to pull in Mike Parker to talk a little bit about his experience in installing the product and just some general tips.
Installing is pretty simple, as you saw from the video. The only tips that I could say would be to follow, obviously, the wiring diagram. And when you set the distance that the light turns on, that's probably real important to bring the doctor in, because what you don't want to have happen is you set it up, give it to the doctor says, oh, that's cool, and then he calls you back a couple of days later, hey, it's too close, it's not far enough, blah, 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 come back and adjust it. Costs you money to get back into the practice and do that. So I would suggest, no matter what, bringing the doctor in and getting the doctor involved, kind of with the installation.
So again, what I'm going to send out to everybody is the installation instructions, a proof of the mailer, a flyer that can be printed in your market, and just a general memorandum on the introduction of this product. And I'll open up the floor. If anybody has questions for me, Mike, or Steve, now's a great time to ask any of the questions.
Hey, Mike.
Michael Leonard.
Yeah.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is that an LED light or is it quartz?
Is the Pelton and Crane an LED?
No, is this new fixture that we have available?
It's infrared technology, guys. So it's LED.
Oh, it's just a switch.
Correct.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Now, how about if the voltage is not 24 volts, it's 35 or some other voltage?
You are good up to about 26 volts AC on this. Beyond that, you're in no man's land. What were you thinking? You got something that's a different voltage?
I don't know. Hey, Mike, is some of the other manufacturers a different voltage, a little bit higher?
I haven't seen anything above 24 volts. I mean, actually 26 volts from a Pelton and Crane.
I mean, what about some of the other manufacturers?
What's that?
What about some of the, let's say it's an ADAC chair.
ADEC
24
uses a
volt.
12-volt system.
So they're all 24.
Yeah, this will
No.
go. This will run anywhere from about 10 to 24 volts. But you'll find that most of the chair manufacturers, because they all use they're pretty much standard bulbs, they're driving this. They're driving them with 24 volts AC or 12 volts AC. Either way, the switch will work.
Okay.
Thanks,
Brian,
Mark.
did you
Any
say
other-
this is going to go? Brian, did you say this is going to go out on the postcard mailer?
It's an option, yes. It'll be an option for this upcoming mailer. I mean, I would obviously encourage it, suggest it. We'll push it through
Absolutely.
our outbound calls, but absolutely, it's in the print right now. So as we typically initiate a mailer with the choices, this is going to be added to it. So as we get those responses back, Michael, that this will be the default for the month of January.
Hey, Brian.
That's great. It's going to be really good. Thanks.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, what? Hey, guys. What's a mailer?
What?
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, this is Michael Johnson in Jackson. Hi, what is the warranty on the switch?
Good question. That was
Good question.
It's got a 1-year warranty, guys.
Good question, Michael. Thank you.
It'll,
1-year warranty.
I guarantee you that unless there's some anomaly on one, this design has been wrung out and proven with thousands of hours of use, you'll find this thing to be rock solid.
Well, I understand, but I've had several offices where I had to go in and change the Pelton and Crane wave switch, so they're going to be kind of apprehensive as far as changing back to another type of wave switch.
Yes, that's correct, and I think you need to reinforce with them that the shortcomings of that Pelton switch do not exist with this particular one, and that it absolutely works very reliably and very consistently for those guys. And tell you, one of the reasons that you'll find that docs buy it, they're thinking about infection control. They like the idea, and then they like the convenience of it. It's just it's a convenience factor too that helps sell this, guys.
May I say something?
Of course. Is that Harry?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Harry.
If you're superseding this on an existing LFS, a Light Fantastic sensor, there's a different wiring schematic, okay? So it can be done, but you'll have to wire it differently. You call Parker or either me, okay, if you see a Pelton sensor that you want to replace with this one, because it'll wire in differently, okay?
That's good to know. This is Steve again. I also think that you'll find that the mounting hole is a little smaller, and you may need to change the size of that. The size for it's needed to fit the switch is a 7/16 inch hole or a 1/2 inch hole, and then you'll be fine.
But don't let that deter you from selling the item. You're talking about something that's going to take you to make a hole bigger a couple of minutes. You know, it's not going to add hours to an installation. You're still making plenty of money, and the idea is to get all the operatories on this.
Right. That's good. Steve, what about cleaning it? You get overzealous assistance?
Yeah, it's designed so that it can withstand some cleaning. There are special lips in the design with the way the switch sets that it won't be infiltrated by any cleaning. But they obviously they don't need to clean it. Some will. You'll be fine with that.
Okay, just wipe it over with like alcohol.
A wipe over is perfect.
Okay, thanks.
Like an alcohol wipe instead of the those other cleaning wipes?
Any of the cleaning wipes should work fine. An alcohol wipe is a no-brainer for sure.
Okay, so this is infrared as opposed to motion. Are most of the other existing manufacturers motion?
Well, a lot of the motion lights are motion detectors, I should say, are infrared.
Okay.
Okay, and there's a different technology called PIER technology, which is what you see in the floodlight turn-on things for at home when you drive in the garage. It detects motion, turns on. That's a different technology. but it has this is different than that. Everything that's close in tends to be in LED and tends to be on the infrared that we encounter every day.
We kind of logged in a little bit late. You have adjustments for feet and also time delay, is that correct?
No, time delay is set. Intensity is variable, so you can get distance changes. We did a lot of research on figuring out what the right frequency was for monitoring the wave, and you'll find that it waves reliably, or the doc might find it even better if he just simply approaches the front of the light with his hand, and it'll turn on and turn off when he gets to the distance it's set at.
Okay.
So you can pretty much put this thing on with any light, right?
Today it's designed to work with Light Fantastic, the LF1 and 2 series Pelton & Cranes, as well as with the ADEX 6300 family. You will find, however, that it will probably fit other brands as well. As long as you got up to 24 or 26 volts AC coming down to the switch and you can mount it, then it'll work.
Okay, so you just said there's Pelton Crane 2 and 3, that's it, right? Not the
Pelton
one?
Crane LF1 and 2,
Okay.
as well as the ADEX 6300s.
Okay,
And
1
that's
and
a
2.
sizable part of the marketplace.
Okay, 1 and 2.
Steve,
Yes?
I also noticed that this fits in the old Healthco Belmont lights as well.
Oh, good to know.
So now those old Healthco Belmont lights, they have a dual select switch. So you have bright and dim on the on-off switch, and then it has the position in the middle for off.
Yeah.
So you would only use one lead, and you obviously want to use the brightest lead for that. But it fits and it works nice on that.
Oh, that's excellent feedback. Thank you. And I think
Can you send information on what lights it fits and the different connections?
You're going to have to test it out in your market, Mike. I can tell you right now, what he discussed, it fits already. That's how it was designed. But I've installed it on a couple other lights. You have to make minor modifications, but it does work.
Okay, great.
And guys, if you see others that you feel are big in your market, let us know. We can oftentimes build on the same base design here, provide an adapter to make it fit other lights.
Good question. Anybody else have questions? Again, I'll email all this information to the entire network, so you'll have everything in an email on PDF. And then again, the mailer will go out for this month. If there's any other questions? Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe that might be a good way of deciding which lights this will work for, but maybe there'll be a website or some kind of a sheet that'll show us what modifications have to be made to what light.
Well, it's only been installed on the Pelton & Crane light. You may have to make modifications to the mounting on different lights. So you're going to have to test it yourself. But this is designed to fit the Pelton & Crane light. It will fit other lights, but you may have to make the hole larger. You may have to make some modifications. So if one of your doctors gets this, you have to go out and take a look at it.
So what you're saying is that, as you said earlier, so long as it's up to 24 to 26 volts,
you're not going to find a dental operatory light running more than 26 volts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the point is that so long as you have a light that's 24 to between 10 or 12 volts up to 26 volts, it'll activate the on-off part. And the only other situation between any other manufacturers would be the actual mounting of the product onto the arm.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yep. And today, guys, it's Pelton & Crane and also ADEX 6300s, a very, very popular light that's out there as well. That we know this works with, and we have an adapter for the ADEX 6300 that we need to provide you for when you buy a pack for an ADEX set of lights.
His name's Steve, right?
Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
I just had a question from another franchisee. He's asking me about colors. So I know you probably only make them in white, but a lot of the old Pelton and Crane, like the LF1s, came in a factory gray color.
Yep.
So, you know, if you guys want to make a nice custom look for the doctor, go pick up a 98-cent bottle of a spray paint in gray.
Get a good plastic spray paint.
Yep, just tape off the the top of it, obviously, and you can spray it to match the light, and it'll blend in. Because I guess if you guys are looking at the picture, the lower right side looks good. It looks like it was made with the light. But the one on the left, obviously the light's been repainted brown, and the switch is white. So if you picked up a can of brown spray paint, painted that thing, it looked factory.
Yeah, the variations in tones on most of the newer lights are pretty minor from what we've seen anyway. And we tried to pick a color that, you know, from a is it clean or dirty perspective would be easy to see, and it matches very much so the color of the. In the case of ADEC, they've got that kind of that off-white or cream color. In the case of Pelton and Crane, they have that as well. So that's the color we chose. But you can change it. Just make sure you put some kind of masking over the front side before you paint it.
So Steve, listen, if you guys are going to do this flyer as your monthly special, when you make the commitment to do that, at least stock 3 of these on your truck. Don't make the commitment and not buy any, and then show up to the doctor and then have to order them and bring them back. It doesn't cost you a whole lot of money. How many do 3 cost? Is some of them in a pack of 3?
Yeah, so the introductory price from now until March 1st is you're paying $69 a light.
So $69 a piece times 3.
$207.
So your $210 investment is going to turn into a $600 payoff.
Hey, Steve, I got another question for you.
Yeah.
$800.
So let's say we have to paint these and we get a plastic paint. Is that going to hold up? Because if they're going to use alcohol wipes to clean that, I don't want to get a call in 6 months or a year saying the paint is chipping.
Yeah, you might. You're going to need to do a little work there, guys, to make sure you're using a good quality plastic paint that is going to adhere and hold through an alcohol wipe. I really don't know the answer to the question.
Okay.
Plastic tape. Just tell them it's available in white only, that's all.
The old Henry Ford story, right? You can have one of these Model Ts in any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah, you got it.
That's good. Any other questions,
hey,
guys? All right, again, thank you guys all for your time. Thank you, Steve. I will email everybody out the information along with the YouTube link so you can watch again, especially the folks that joined us late. You can watch Mike install it here in the training center on one of the Pelton Crane lights. But again, thank you guys all for your time, and good luck selling these things. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Have some fun and make some money with it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.